Hey listeners, I'm your host, Juan Collado Díaz, and this is Político. Hi everybody and welcome once again to another episode of Político. I am your host, Juan Collado Díaz, and this is our special episode for Podcasthon week. Podcasthon is this organization that started in France bringing podcasters together to support charity and nonprofit organizations. Now a worldwide organization, and we decided to join. Today, we are supporting the Trevor Project, an amazing LGBT base to help youth from preventing LGBT bullying and suicide happening in the LGBT community. With me, it's my amazing high school teacher, JJ, or Jennifer Shaw, who I have never actually called JJ or Jennifer Shaw because it's a weird thing. I used to call her Sergeant Shaw because that was her title in school. And more than a teacher, she was an amazing individual, someone who helped the LGBT community left and right, but also did amazing work as the founder of the GSA in my high school, the Gay Straight Alliance, and she helped many students combat suicide, many parents to know when their kids were LGBT and how to deal with that and support them, while also providing resources to these individuals because she herself went through the same exact situation. So, do you mind sharing a little bit of these experiences and what really inspired you to start the high school Gay Straight Alliance?
Hi, Juan. I started approximately 2014, 2015 is when I wasn't nervous about coming out and forming our LGBT group, which ended up being the largest LGBT group, I think, well, for sure in all of Cleveland, but I don't know about the state of Ohio. I know we started with like 5 people, then 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I think eventually it came up to about 20 to 25 people, especially with your help.
So first of all, thank you so much for joining me. I know you're on vacation, and this is as always amazing because you're always working with people and for the people, and always caring so much about everybody else, which it shows how amazing of an individual and a person you are. But I also wanted to ask you, you founded this John Marshall High School Gay Straight Alliance, and you fought for it to the end. You literally fought your boss, as you mentioned before to me, to keep it standing in and keep it in the classroom to make it a safe zone and welcoming space for everybody. Why was this so important to you?
I felt it was important to me to keep the club going, even though both my bosses couldn't stand it, especially, Major. He's one time said, "Get the hell out of this room." He couldn't take it anymore. But I definitely thought it was important because each year seeing the smiles and just the dialogue between all the students and just knowing that they had a safe place to go and be able to be themselves really meant a lot.
And that is incredible because you give a voice to students that didn't maybe feel safe at home to talk about these issues. Maybe they didn't feel safe in their community. And you were, you created a classroom. You created a space that wasn't just a classroom. It was a space, and they could go even during school hours. They can go after school hours and sit down and talk and feel freely, who they are and have their identity expressed without being judged or without being, told them they couldn't be that. And that is beautiful.
I definitely agree that the GSA gives everyone a chance. And look at you, how you started putting posters and everything up for the LGBT to be more accepting here in all the different grade levels and all the different schools that we had at John Marshall and advertising. And so it gave everyone a voice and made everyone feel like one family.
I absolutely agree with that. I will say that I always felt welcome into that classroom, and always felt, that I belonged there. I also wanted to ask you, you mentioned you were a predominant part in helping the students, a very important part of helping them coming out. And you also supported them with their families and stuff like that. Do you mind sharing a little bit of like the parts, stories you had of helping students coming out? And I know you had to also, while you were a teacher, you also had to deal with students and a little bit of like depression and suicide due to students not being able to come out or talk to their parents about this.
I definitely agree that I was really adamant about keeping the GSA because one, well, more than one, wanted to commit suicide over it. But one, I even went to the family's residence to ensure and talk to the mom for like 2 hours through an interpreter because he was Spanish and she didn't speak any English, but just to help so he would stay alive. And now actually he's alive, thriving, and has a great career as an airline attendant.
And that's an amazing story. And that is beautiful that you went out of your way to do that. And with that, I wanted to share with our listeners actually today about an amazing nonprofit organization here in the United States and all around the world that is ready to help students too if they feel that they need a place to speak, a safe space, or a place that they can go and just talk to someone if they're thinking about suicide, if they're currently depressed, or they need a place to know how to come out. And that is the Trevor Project. The Trevor Project is an amazing nonprofit organization that gives support, resources, and opportunities to LGBT youth around the United States, all over the 50 states, DC, and Puerto Rico, day and night. There is support over the phone where you can find it and just talk to someone on the phone. You can meet friends, you can reach a counselor, or you can just text with them 24/7. That support is available at www.trevorproject.org. Or if you prefer to go over the phone, you can reach out at any time. Their hotline at 866-488-7386. That's 866-488-7386. You can also start texting with them by texting START, S-T-A-R-T, to 678-678. S-T-A-R-T to 678-678. And those are two amazing ways to get in touch if you need support. You can also dial the 988 hotline, which is local to you, and they can bring support to you if you are thinking of suicide. Just remember, the Trevor Project's website is also friendly and an easy escape. If you need to leave the website, just click the escape button on your computer and it will redirect you to the Weather Channel or Google without a trace. So if you don't feel comfortable with someone knowing what you're doing or how you're trying to find information for yourself, that is an amazing way to do that. And now let me ask you, with the current administration and anything, is there any fears do you have or anything that you would like to share with people, how to be cautious, maybe words of advice on coming out, maybe, if they want to come out, how can they get support or even feel safe at this point?
I think everyone, even in today's world now, has to be more cautious on who and why they need to feel like they got to come out. I think right now under the Trump era, I would be more afraid to come out. And if you have a chance, maybe I would stay in the closet a little bit longer if I had to. I never came out to my own father because I knew he was against gays. So I just would invite heartache and be separated from my father. So it was best. So it's an individual choice for everyone on how they feel. And if they feel it's important to come out, then I'm all for it. But right now under Trump, especially the transgender, and especially if you're in the military, I would not come out.
Thank you so much for joining me, JJ. I wanted to share with everybody again, one more time, if you need assistance immediately or you're thinking about suicide or you are currently going through a stage of depression, help is available 24/7. Trevor Project is here to help you and help your family understand who you are, your identity, and if you need help. It's 24/7 assistance and support available online, over the phone, or over text. Their hotline is 866-488-7386, or you can text the word STAR, S-T-A-R-T, to 678-678. If you also need help, make sure that you can call the 988 hotline 24/7. They're local to your area, and they will support you also with anything that is mental health related. As for those that have the opportunity or you have the means to do so, I do encourage you to donate $10, $100, or even $1,000 if you can to the Trevor Project. You can do that by going to give.trevorproject.org anytime during the day and donate. If you do make a donation, make sure to leave a comment that is on behalf of this podcast that you listen to so we can make a bigger impact on our community. All your donations are tax deductible because the Trevor Foundation or Trevor Project is a 501c3 tax-exempt organization. You can claim it on your taxes, and your gift to this company or this organization will make sure that it goes towards LGBT communities. These funds will also be matched by 3 times. For every $1, they will receive 4 thanks to the 8 Wood family. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening. If you are interested to learn more about this episode, on the show notes, visit www.politicopod.com. If you're listening from Spotify, make sure to give us a follow to stay up to date with all new releases. And if you're listening from Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review so we can get to the top. This and all other episodes of Político with Juan Collado Díaz are part of the Inquisitor Media Originals.